Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to my January TBR. So I am so excited to be filming this. Now, as always, I always film a little bit early, but I'm filming this pretty early because of the holiday and I wanted to have it done so when I get back, I'm not rushing to get it done. So I haven't even made a few of my like the plans that I have for January. So you're going to hear about a couple of them a little bit early, but I'll probably do a chatty video where I talk about some of those again. Although I did just put up my goals for 2024 as a tag video that you can go watch. But that has some more like overarching goals and I'll have a few videos that I'm going to do. But we're going to do the books that I so far already have planned for January. We're going to go through those. And the books that I have some book clubs and reading plans going for, as well as some from my physical TBR that I'm going to try to get to, which is, as always, something each year I endeavor to do better, and also books that I've received as gifts from you guys that I want to get to. I don't want to be, irresponsible with those or put them off. So without further ado, let's get into the two books that I'm doing either buddy reads or read-alongs with. So I'm sure you are aware, if you follow my channel for any length of time recently, that I will be hosting with some friends in the community. We'll see who ends up sticking around, which is why for now it's just me as the host, but I already have some people who've reached out that they're interested in it. But we are going to be doing an Outlander read-along that will go through at least 2024, maybe into 2025, which is crazy to say, but I'm not going to rush us through this. You can check out my full video about that, whichever, I forget what side it's on. You can check out my full video about that. This is going to be a very relaxed read-along. This first one, for the first book, we're not having a live show until February, so there'll be 6 weeks to read it. You can get started now if you want. I have a link to my Discord down below, and in my Discord, which is basically just a chat server, it's a place where you can go and have like chat groups and stuff and post gifts, all that things. And I have different sections for each like part of this, so as you finish it, you can go in and chat. Because I'm sure we'll read at all different paces. Some of us will sit down and read this in 2 days. Some of us will need the whole 6 weeks, right? Whether you're going to get the audio or whatever. Anyway, again, I have a whole video about it, but I'm very, very excited. It's been so difficult for me to hold back, but we're going to start with Outlander and we're going to work our way through. So, January is the month of Outlander. So I hope you will join us for this. We have so many people. We have people from all ages, from basically like, I know there's someone who's like 20 years old all the way up to long-time fans of it who are in their silver and golden years, as we'll say, who've been fans and have watched my channel for a really long time. So I'm very excited to do that. Next, I'm doing a buddy read with some friends. I'm not sure like how we're planning to break it up, but back in like October or November, I asked if we could buddy read this book together. And I was like, let's not worry about it until the new year because I have a lot going on. But we are going to read North and South. Now, I actually just got this copy as a gift. It's a hardcover copy from Bex. Thank you, Bex, if you're watching. Like, this was such a beautiful surprise to get. So earlier this year, I was lamenting that I only had 2 copies of North and South, and they weren't necessarily like super beautiful copies, whereas like Pride and Prejudice and Jane Eyre and Sense and Sensibility, I have multiple glorious copies of those because they are very popular, so they get the royal treatment. Elizabeth Gaskell is not as well known, and I think it's a crying shame. So I'm going to be rereading North and South, and I'm probably going to annotate it this time. This beautiful hard copy has lots of nice big margins for me to write in as well. But, oh, where was I going with it? So I had one friend send me 2 copies that they found. So then I had 4, and then I got this one for Christmas, and it's part of the Royal Classics collection, and I just love it. So thank you so much, Bex, but you maybe couldn't have even known that I literally was planning to read this in January. Like, it's been our plan for a few months. So yeah, going to do a reread of this. This, of course, has the Mr. Thornton in it, who, in my opinion, could rival Mr. Darcy for like swooniness, okay? He's fabulous. All right, so those are those two. Then let's go through the books that are upcoming. So I actually just made my January to March anticipated releases. So I just talked about like all of these books again. So I'll go through these a little bit quicker, but there are, I think, 9 books that I have on my list right now that I know are coming in January. They're either ones I have ARCs for, or I've pre-ordered, or I'm planning to read when they come out. I'm sure there'll be more that pop up, because that's the thing with loving indie authors. They might just decide to throw their book up at any time, so you never know. But there is, of course, House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. No one is surprised. That one doesn't come out till the end of the month, but I will be reading it the day that it does, so there we are with that. Midnight Ruin by Katie Robert. I have an arc of this one. This is a part of her Dark Olympus series. I have been holding on with that series. It's been mostly hits, so that's why I'm still around, but nothing has quite had the magic of the first 3 for me. I really loved the first 3, and then the other ones have just been like, I'm here for it, you know? But I'm still holding on. On the Mountain by Riley Hart. This is just one that I saw it advertised because I'd read a different book by Riley Hart and I liked it. And this one is supposed to be like a snowed in, you know, like I think someone gets lost in the wilderness and then ends up staying with a mountain man. It's an MM romance, and y'all, I love snowed in, but I love survival romances, and I just love mountain men as it is, so it's gonna be a good time. Toxic Love by Jager Cole. This is the first in his Venomous, wow, I just forgot it. I just remembered it. I don't know, but it's the new one in his Venomous Club series, Venomous Love. I can't remember. Anyway, it's the first in a new series from him. I've been talking for a lot already. I've recorded quite a few videos this morning. Never Blow a Kiss by Lindsay Louise. This is one I have an arc for on NetGalley, and I don't really know what it's about, but I'm gonna try it if I'm in the mood. So I got it. There it is. I think they were offering like free arcs of this one. And I just can't pass up a free book even when I have no time to read it. So sorry about that. Twice Shy by Heather Guerrero. This will be the 4th book in the paranormal series that she has going. I really hope this one comes out in January. It's been pushed a few times, but I think this one's going to be another wolf one. I was hoping for another vampire one because we've only had one of those, but I like the wolves too. They're cool. Shots and Barbs by Lily Main. This will be the 2nd book in her MF monster series she has going on. This one again will have, I think, a female dom type scenario, and I have an arc of this one already. It comes out pretty early in January. Savage Wounds by Lillian Harris. This is the 4th book in her Messina crime family. I still need to read book 3, which I'm hoping to do this week. I'm hoping to read it on vacation. I'm going to try because I need to read that one before Savage Wounds, and I'm going to be getting an arc of Savage Wounds, so I need to make it happen. And then I have a physical arc of The Initiation by R. Collins, or Initiation it's called. And this is going to be a marriage of convenience. I know it's supposed to have like BDSM in it. It's friends to lovers type thing too, where James needs to get married within 30 days or he's going to be killed. Not quite sure how that's happening, but I'm intrigued. And so he ends up getting his friend to marry him when she just got dumped by her boyfriend of 10 years. And she needs a place to stay, and so she ends up with James, and then she ends up in this marriage of convenience with him. And it has to be, I think, like consummated too. Like you can't just marry someone for convenience or they'll find out. I don't know. But this is a debut author. She sent me a physical arc of it. I will be getting to this soon. I think it comes out the 11th or 12th of January, so I want to get to this very soon. So those are those ones. Yes. Then, as for Patreon books, I'm still waiting to hear from 2 people, but the ones that are new to me we'll talk about, because, you know, with Patreon annotated books, they're usually ones I've read before because they're picking my favorites. They're a very brave patron who picks a book I've never read to have me annotate it, because you never know what happens. I don't lie, even for my people who pay me. Like, if you pick a book I've never read and I read it and don't like it, I'm sorry. this what I'm sending you? That hasn't happened very many times, but it's happened once or twice, and I'm like, I'm sorry. But I didn't love it. So anyway, if you don't know, I do have a Patreon that supports the channel, and one of the tiers is to have a book annotated by me each month. So yeah, definitely check those out. I mean, there's not any of those spots open. I should be honest about that. There's none of those spots open right now, but there are some other great benefits in there that help you support the channel. So check that out. All right. The ones I haven't read are The Wrong Game got picked for Billionaire Romance. Billionaire Romance was our trope. We pick a trope and then people recommend books and then we vote on them. So The Wrong Bride was picked, and I won't lie, I'm very nervous. I've had a few friends who did not care for it. I of course had friends who've loved it, friends who loved it, and I've owned the first 2 books for a long time, and then I got the 3rd book as a gift when I went to Book Bonanza. So I have the 3 books in this series, right? So I hope I like it. I am going in with this with like, I want to like it. I do have the audiobook for it as well, but this will be the group book, so I will be annotating this one. We'll see what happens. Then one that I also haven't read is I'm planning to read Possess Me for one of my patrons. She will know who it is. I need to still read Brutalize Me, which again is one I want to try to read before I get to that one. But the reason why I picked this one, because this patron gave me a choice. She was like, pick from these ones. I want any of these. Choose one of those. And I want to finish this Michelle Hurd series because I've read the first 3 and I've had good results with them. I've enjoyed them, but I just get so behind with her books. She puts them out so frequently. So I picked Possess Me because I know that it's this person's favorite book in the series, and I still need to read a book before I get to that one, and it's going to make me do it. So that's why I picked that one, Possess Me by Michelle Hurd. All right. Then all the other ones are ones I've already read before, so I don't need to talk about those ones. So I have the books from my physical TBR that I want to try to read. So let's go through those. I just have 7 of them. I don't know that I'll get to all of them because I might change my mind or not want them, but some of them are gifts from you guys. One of them is a carryover from December because I don't think I'm going to get to it. And then a few of them are just from my historical shelf because, as always, we're starting fresh with a new year and I want to try to get to more of my historicals. So let's go through these. First, the book that I'm carrying over from December, I want to read The Jock by Tal Bauer. I just have run out of time and I didn't get to this one, but I want to work my way through Tal Bauer's backlist this year. I had a couple people gift me more books from his list. This one I actually got in a book raffle, but I've been gifted a few of his books that I've had on my TBR or that are on my wish list. So I want to get to this one. So yeah, this one is I think it's an artist and a football player, if I'm correct. Wes and Justin. I think so, but it's an MM romance. All of Tal Bauer's are, and yeah, I've enjoyed every book that I've read from him, and one of them is on my top of the year. So definitely going to keep up with that. All right, then some books that were gifts. So there is Tender Mercies by Kitty Thomas. This was gifted to me by Megan, who, Kitty Thomas is one of her favorite authors, so she actually sent me a couple signed books from her. One of them was Mafia Captive, which was fascinating. And so this one is about Grace and Asher. And I think I believe this one is about like a BDSM, like a slavery situation. So that makes my stomach like clench because those are very, very dark. Like those are intense. But I like the way Kitty Thomas has done it, and her books aren't too long. Like this is only 210 pages. But yeah, this one, Grace wants to get into a tougher like slavery situation, you know, consensually, of course. And then Asher, he's actually someone who lost his slave, one of his, which again, feels so weird saying it, but he's someone who lost his slave. And then Grace, he wants her and to like make her be his. So that's what I'm getting out of it, but want to try to read this one and work my way through. I have some more of Kitty Thomas on my Kindle as well. So I want to keep pushing through some of hers. Daniela gifted me with some books from this series by Davidson King. I've never read a Davidson King. I have had Snow Falling like I actually have it on my Kindle because I'm pretty sure Danielle is the one who recommended it before in my book rec form. And then, as you do, she gifted it to me for Christmas to really push me towards it. So this is another MM. Wow, I guess I'm reading some MM this year. I love it. I've never read Davidson King. But yeah, this one is, let me see. Tell no one your name. Tell nobody your secrets. Trust no one. Those are the rules of the street for Snow. His entire life changes when he was an 8-year-old from a violent end. Well, when he saves an 8-year-old. Christopher Manos is one of the most powerful crime bosses in the country. Don't ask anyone to do something you aren't willing to do yourself. Secrets can get you killed. Trust nobody. These are the rules he lives by. When his 8-year-old nephew disappears, he never expects the boy's savior to end up being his own. A man with a dangerous past and a man with a dangerous future find love amidst murder and mayhem. So it sounds kind of like a mafia MM or like crime stuff. So yeah, she recommended this one to me and she gifted me a few from the series. So I want to give this one a go because Danielle and our tastes cross in quite a few places. And then one of my lovely patrons, one of my actually proud producers of the channel, which that's a new tier that just got created, she had sent me the Victorian Prizefighter trilogy by Alice Coldbreath. And I have had this series recommended to me for literally years. Like, it was one of the very first books recommended on, I mean, I don't know if it was this one, but it was one in the series that was recommended on my book rec form, and it was like the first one. So I know that people really want me to get to this one. And so yeah, I have all three, and it was gifted to me from another Megan. I have a few Megans, right? There was also this little art print in it, which is so cool. So yeah, I want to give this one a go. I think there's audiobooks for these. I think there is. But yeah, this one is the Victorian Prizefighter, and this is Mina, and her well-ordered life is thrown in disarray when her father drops a bombshell on his deathbed. She has a brother that she never knew of. Not only that, he's on his way to rescue her from the collapse of their school under a mountain of debt. A wild journey across country later, Mina finds herself thrown at the feet of brutish William Ney, a prizefighter and owner of a disreputable inn, the Merry Harlot. Respectable Mina is appalled to find herself obliged to wed this surly stranger. Forced to draw on reserves of inner strength she never knew she possessed, Mina uncovers perilous secrets and bravely carves herself a new life at the side of this man, as she proves herself a more than worthy partner for the prizefighter. So yeah, that's the first one in this. All right, so those are the ones from you guys. And then I picked 3 more off my historical shelf, which I realized that Prize for the Prizefighter is also historical. So one that I want to get to is In Like Flynn by Lauren Smith. The audiobook for this one is available now. I listened to the first one on audio and I just loved it so much. And I think Shane East narrates this one. I believe that I saw it. I could be wrong, so I don't want to promise that. But this is a pirate series. The series is called A Pirate of King's Landing. And the setup for this one was so good. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Okay. The real blurb for this one is, when English naval officer Nicholas Flynn is sent on a mission to learn the whereabouts of an infamous pirate, he falls for a mysterious young woman who's posing as a pirate. As forbidden passions ignites, he learns the dangerous truth of who she really is, and it might cost him his life to save her. So the reason why I was getting confused is the blurb is wrong on the back, because that's the blurb for the first book in this series, which I liked, but was definitely not this one. But I believe the girl is the daughter of a pirate, and she's been hiding as a pirate. So anyway, either way, I want to read this one. It's beautiful. And I've liked a few of the books by Lauren Smith, who AKA is Emma Castle. Actually, she's written some of my books. Then I have a Teresa Medeiros. And this one is Shadows and Lace. I have so many Teresa Medeiros, and your girl needs to catch up on some of her backlist. So this one is, I believe, a woman gets given when her father loses her. So it's, with one roll of the dice, the shameful deed was done. Baron Lindsay Fordyce had gambled and lost, and now his beautiful daughter, Rowena, was about to pay the price. Spirited away to an imposing castle, the fiery innocent found herself pressed into the service of a dark and forbidding knight accused of murder, and much more. Handsome, brooding Sir Gareth of Carleon has spent years waiting for this chance for revenge, but when he sought to use the fair Rowena to slay the ghosts of his tortured past, he never imagined he'd be ensnared in a silken trap of his own making, slave to the desire he could never hope to quench. So I have enjoyed all the Teresa Medeiros's that I have read. And then I have a little short one, which I actually saw that this is getting re-released with a new cover. So this may be coming to a store near you. I had to actually dig this one up a few years ago because it wasn't like in print anymore. But I want to read this kind of novella length book by Mary Balog. I mean, it is technically like, well, yeah, it's like novella length. And I heard it talked about on an episode of Fated Mates podcast, and I thought it sounded really, really good. But this is, I think it's like a standalone for her. I don't know if it's connected to anything else. And this is about Reginald Mason, who's wealthy, refined, and by all accounts a gentleman. However, he's not a gentleman by birth, a factor that pains him and his father. Within the Regency society that upholds station over all else. That is until an opportunity for social advancement arises, namely Lady Annabel Ashton, daughter of the Earl of Havencroft, a neighbor and enemy of the Mason family. Annabel finds herself disgraced by scandal, besmirched by shame. The Earl is only too happy to marry Annabel off to anyone who will have her. Though Bernard wishes to use Annabel to propel his family up the social ladder, his son does not wish to marry her, preferring instead to live the wild single life he's accustomed to. With this, Bernard serves his son an ultimatum: marry Annabel or make do without family funds. Having no choice, Reginald consents and enters into a hostile engagement in which the prospective bride and groom are openly antagonistic, each one resenting the other for the current state of affairs. So begins an intoxicating tale rife with dark secrets, deception, and the trials of love, a story with where very little is as it seems. So this is a book of, it has some unreliable narrators in it, is what I've heard about it. So it's a short one, and I also own a lot of Mary Balog that I want to catch up on. So just as I'm losing the light, we'll wrap this one up. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me which of these books you're excited to read, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.